In this video, I am going to show you how to automate anything inside of N8N with AI. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Devin. I run an AI agency where I help small businesses install secure AI automated solutions. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, the key to automating anything is to understand what you're trying to do. So in today's video, we're going to be automating invoices. So in order to automate an invoice, what do you need? Well, first, let's look here. Let's look at what the triggers can be. You can do a manual trigger, meaning you just click a button. Whenever an event happens on an app, like if a new row gets added inside of some, let me show you. So let's just say, what's an easy example? Calendly. If a new meeting is scheduled, this entire workflow is going to activate. Let's see here. That's what on an app event means. On a schedule, meaning every 5 minutes, 10 minutes. On a webhook call, that's a little bit more custom. On a form submission, etc., etc. You need to understand when would you want this to activate. So for invoice, I'm not going to connect my actual Stripe or anything like that, or Wave, PayPal, whatever. Let's do a. For right now, just for demonstration purposes, let's do a trigger manually. I don't want to deal with going into apps and keep doing it over and over again. So right now, we're going to pretend that this is a different trigger. So if we want to automate invoices, what's the first step to make that happen? First off, we need to identify where are the invoices coming from. So let's just assume it's coming from our Google Sheets. Boom. And we're going to go ahead and get rows. Boom. Okay. Now you need to think about, okay, so our invoices are all stored here. Every time a customer buys something, every time they do anything financially, it gets updated here in this sheet. So now I want to say, okay, what do we want to do after that? Well, for one, we need to process the information. What are we looking at? Well, we know that we need to take the information and split it up into, you know what? I have an even better idea how to visualize this. 1 second. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get the invoice location. Stripe, Wave, PayPal, whatever. From there, we need to say, okay, all the invoices are stored on Wave. What do we do with it? Well, we need to process who still owes money. Okay. From there, we need to decide who is still, decide how long it's been since the initial payment was due. And then from there, we need to outreach and send the automated invoice to said customer / client. There we go. Now, this is pretty much the outline of how an automation or the process of sending an invoice works, right? You go to wherever it's stored, or the information, the payment, whatever. Where is this information for the payments being stored? We need to process visually, manually, automated, whatever, who still owes us money. From there, we need to say, okay, well, how long has it been? It's been X amount of time. Okay, so now that we know it's been, let's just say, 5 days since, 5 weeks since the first invoice was due, we know, okay, since it's been 5 weeks, according to the contract, we can now add on a 2.5% interest onto the payment, whatever, right? We need to know this information. And then we need to decide how we're going to outreach and send this update to them. This is what we're going to be figuring out today in N8N. So, let me see, boom. Stripe. This is Stripe, right? All right, this is Stripe. Now, I might not even build the full automation. I might just leave it like this. Right? The purpose of this video isn't to build automation, it's about how to understand the process of automating anything. Not so much the details of how to get every node to work. It's really about the thought process behind it. This is really important for you guys to understand. So we got straight move this out the way. If you're wondering what this is right here, this is for my SecureOps software that I'm running in the background to track everything that's happening inside of N8N. So if I do decide to run anything, it's going to be tracked here. I'll get it if you want an explanation of that. I'll link it here or up here. So from Stripe, okay, so we have the node to get the invoice. Now what else do we need? We need process who still owes us money. Okay. Let's go back here. Let's say, how do we want to do this? Well, we have different options. We can just say, hey, we can do an if node if the column has the information that we need. Matter of fact, I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So I managed to find an invoice from a while ago that I made for a different video. So we're going to go ahead and use this one right here. So now that we know, again, I said this before in my TikToks, AI only works if you understand the data that you're giving it. We need to understand that our invoice spreadsheet has the name, column, amount, the status, and the date that was sent. So if we know that the status of our invoices is going to determine what happens next, we know that, okay, so when we call this spreadsheet here, or when we call this spreadsheet, or the Stripe, whatever, when we call that, and actually let me set this up 1 second. Okay, so once we run this right here, right, we have different options. We can just do the first option, which is probably the easiest, is set up a if node. So if status is equal to, what is it? Paid. Oh, let's do overdue. So overdue, boom. Run it. Boom, okay. So now we have different, so just for visualization, let me see, boom, boom. Okay. So this is option number 1. So what we could do is, let's say, okay, the amount is, hold on, number greater than, if it's greater than $100, what is that, 1,000? 1,000, okay, so if it's greater than 1,000, convert types required, boom. If it's greater than 1,000, send it to the path of the first path, right? So this is a high ticket invoice. They haven't that page yet. We need to send the house. We need to send automated agents. We need to send manual people. We need to send emails, SMS, everything. High ticket, they haven't paid yet. If it's only $50, I mean, who cares about $50, right? Well, I mean, you should care, but realistically, you don't have to send the house. You don't have to send every possible means of outreach to get that invoice paid. And the reason this is important is because you need to understand the data that you're giving it. The entire purpose of building anything in N8N is to make sure that you don't have to do it yourself. You want something automated to save you time, money, and resources overall. So the only way to do that efficiently is to understand the data that you're looking at. If you understand that, okay, if it's over $1,000, that's really important. If it's like $50, whatever, it's probably, it could be something different. But the biggest point of this video is to understand what is that you need to do and how do you need to do it. Right? I don't want to stay on this part for too long, but understand. So you have 2 options, right? Let me go back to the actual workflow instead of the thought process behind it. You have 2 options. You can just do it if it's not paid yet. If it's not paid, you can do it like that. If you want to do something like, okay, it's not paid, and depending on the price range, let's do this. And if it's high ticket, do that. If it's low ticket, do this, whatever. You could do that. Or, okay, so boom, now we figured that out. So we did the first step. We understand that the Stripe or the Google Sheet is the place where we're holding all the invoices. We now understand who owes us money still. and we got to decide the next step, which in this case would be how long it's been since the initial payment. 5 weeks, whatever. Now, how can we do this? Well, let's go over here back in N8N and say, okay, if they have an overdue invoice, we can delete this right now. So let's leave it for visual sake. Let's just say, okay, this is a high ticket sale right here, right? 5 people. So we can go with that. Now we're going to say, okay, let's add in some code logic, right? Just to make this simple. JavaScript. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a JavaScript file or code script, whatever, to determine if this date is over or beyond the allowed point of being overdue, right? So just to make sure we have everything we need, let's go ahead and add in a dates node at the very beginning. So we got the actual date, current date, boom, boom, boom. There we go. Let's rerun this. Okay, so now I will vibe code a quick little script and be right back. Okay, so now I went ahead and vibe coded this out. So now we can see that the days since sent is going to be 128, 131, 120, So this invoice that I'm using is pretty old. So we're going to go ahead and just say, let's do another switch actually. Let's do a switch to say, okay, if the days since is over 128, 130, 130, 120, 130, is less than or equal to 120. Oh. Go here. Well, in this instance, we don't really need a switch node. What we really need is a if node. So let's change that out. Let's do if, boom. Let's do here. Let's say days sent is equal to less than equal to 112, 120. Here we go. And boom. So now, if it's over 120 days, like 121 or greater, that's high risk that we need to get that money in now. It's beyond everything. We're adding interest in, et cetera, et cetera. If not, then they're just late. Want to nudge them, give them a reminder, right? So now we go back here. Okay. It's beyond 5 weeks. So we're going to say like 30, 60, 90, 125 months, right? Just about. Since the first invoice was due. Okay. We completed all these right here. So let's go ahead, highlight it out. Boom. Now, outreach. We need to be able to send this invoice to the said customer and or client. How can we make that happen? Well, there's a whole bunch of ways. We can do a Slack message if we have them on Slack. We can do Gmail. We can do Twilio. We can do, what else? That's a whole bunch of options. Really, anything you can send a message on online, you can probably figure out how to do that here inside of N8N. Let's see. Email campaigns, I mean, you name it. Whatever you can think of, you can probably do it or find a way to do it here inside of N8N. So, just to keep it simple, let's say Gmail. Boom. Send a message. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So now we can go over here and say, you owe us your invoice is, go here, days sent. Your invoice is 120 days overdue. Pay now. Or after, wait, no, this is before or after. No, okay, no, it's overdue. Pay now or after 120 days, there will be interest. Boom, there we go. So now we can send an email out to everyone. Wait, no. Is less than or equal to 20. 120 days, and then these emails are over. Wait, what? I'm looking at it completely wrong. There we go. False. Yeah, these are over. Okay. Interest will be added on, and then if they don't pay, then we'll send them another email saying is overdue. Interest will now be tagged on. Boom. Now, this isn't really an end of the video because I don't want to make it, oh, you have to follow this step to do the automation. You got to do this, you got to do that. I'm telling you exactly how I think and create these invoices. I mean, automations. What do we need to do? Well, we need to send an invoice. Where's the invoice? It's on Google Sheets. Even if it's on Stripe, we have a Stripe node here, native N8N. Get balance, do all types of stuff, get customer information. Is there an invoice node here? Let me see. No, there isn't, but there's a whole bunch of, I mean, come on. Anything you need to do on Stripe is right there. What else? We need to process who still owes us money. Okay. We know it owes us money because this if node drags everything out from the Stripe or Google Sheet, and we can tell, okay, the status is overdue, you need to pay. If it's not, then do nothing. However, we need to make sure that we can even get that information from our source to begin with. I'm sure Stripe has that option as well, but in this case right here, we do have a entire column dedicated to telling us if something is overdue or not. What's next? How long it's been? Once again, we have that information stored here. We don't have the exact days since, but we created our logic here with a code node. And then we decided if it's over X amount of time, 5 months in this case, or just about rounds up, maybe 4 months, 4.5 months, whatever, send it here. No, if it's over 4 months, send it here. Down this path, if it's not, send it here. And then you can add on Twilio, make a call, whatever, and you can add on your Slack messages. Let's say we have them on Slack for some odd reason, whatever, right? Don't overthink this. Like, I'm not going to make a 30-minute video going super in depth on logic and behind all this and that. It's so simple. What do you need to do? Get an invoice. Where is it stored? Stripe. Boom. Plug the Stripe node in. How long it's been, or who owes money still? Boom. Super simple. Look at the field that comes through. It's here. If it's not there, if the information that you get from your CRM, Stripe, Sheet, whatever doesn't have that, fix that in. How long it's been? Super simple. The code node gives it to us. And we have a sheet that tells us the date that they ordered it from. So logically, if we know they ordered it, or the date was sent, the invoice was sent on the 5th of June, we know, okay, it's been 100 whatever days since then. That was the vibe code. Jenny, cut that part out. So I'm gonna do that report again. So we know if it's been 100, we know it's been 100 some days, Jenny. We know it's been 100 some days since the invoice. So now, okay, well, that's pretty simple. We get that information, put in the code node, get the days since, which is basically just, well, the math logic here is a little different, but really if you just say, what's the difference between today and June 5th or 6th, as if 120, 121 days, whatever. Simple math, right? You might not even need to code that out depending on how good you are with coding, but I'd rather just vibe code everything, saves time and energy for making small mistakes. You get the point. And then from there, how do we send it to them? Well, what's our main means of communication in the business? Is it email? Is it call? Is it text? What is it? If it's email, use Gmail. If it's call, make the call. You set up a AI agent, whatever, however you want to do it. If it's Slack, use Slack. And then that's it. And if they don't answer again, well, let's just add another step just to show you. They remind again in 7 days after. Super simple. Come over here, wait node, 7 days, and then do it all over again. There you go. Like, do you guys see how easy this is? Like, of course, all this isn't connected. I don't have the Gmail set up, all that, but this video is about the logic, not the technical background of building every node to perfection. That doesn't even matter if you don't know what to do, right? You can have all the tools in the world. If you don't know what to do with them, it's pointless. So again, this is a very simple automation. This whole process, oh, how do I automate the invoices? That sounds so complicated. Come to the Stripe. I'm gonna show you something right now, right? This video is a little longer than I wanted it to be. But here, boom. Let's go here. Let's get the balance, whatever. Come over here. Create credential. You add the secret key that you get from your Stripe. You can get, let's just say, 1 second. Let's just say we look up the Stripe. There you go. The Stripe API. We come here, go to Stripe API, allows the developers to integrate Stripe. We come here, we get the key, boom, 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 plug that in here, and now we have all the access to our Stripe. It's that simple. Like you guys you can't overthink this, right? Now again, if you don't have enough time to figure out where the APIs go and then doing all this, and if you don't even understand what vibe coding is, if you don't know how to even install N8N, then that's a different situation. But if that's the case, then I recommend, just for time's sake, just invite somebody into your business. For example, if you really want something like this for invoices installed in your business, don't hesitate down below. Click the link for booking a free call, 15, 20 minutes. We can sit down, talk about your business, what you need, and then we can figure out exactly what's needed to get this up and running for you. But again, if you want to do this yourself, it's not that complicated. I mean, in 20 minutes, we pretty much built a system for automating invoices that come in. And to make this automatic, we would just add in a node for, let's go here, Sheets, Google Sheets, trigger on row updated or whatever. And then this entire process will run again whenever the sheet gets updated. So again, it's not that complicated, but if you want help setting this up for your business, your project, whatever, and or if you have more questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Click down below, book a call, comment, reach out to me, email, whatever, and we can get that set up for you. But that's really it. I don't want, this isn't complicated. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it.